Monitor him! One-handed catch! Oh, he's got it!
Welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan, and I'll be your pilot tonight. Boys and girls, I am very, very excited to be talking about the Jets' victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. Lol. I'm oh sorts of excited. Boys and girls, if you're just hopping in here, make sure you milk those thumbs. Hit the like button. Love it. If you guys are new to the show, you have not been around for a call-in show, you get 3 minutes on the timer. After 3 minutes,
That's it! You're out of here!
that's right, you get blasted out of the cockpit. Got a lot to get into. I'm going to give you guys my dialogue a little bit of monologue here for the first, we'll call it 15 minutes. We'll get into the comment questions in the chat. And then the phone lines are going to open up at 8:30. And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear the excitement. I want to hear the little bit of doom and gloom maybe. You know, maybe you're not as excited as some of the other Jet fans after this pretty solid win. Pretty solid win, if I do say so myself. But I get to hear your opinions on the back half of the schedule. The Jets are 3-3 heading into the bye week. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but I can tell you right now, looking at the schedule prior to week 1, I was saying, man, you know what? We could be 3-3 with Aaron Rodgers going into the bye. I'm going to feel real good about the back half of the schedule. Well, guess what? We don't have Aaron Rodgers. And we're 3-3 at the bye with Zach Wilson. It's got to make you feel good. Even if you're not a Zach truther or you're not a real big Zach believer, at the very least, he's playing to a level that will at least satisfy some degree of interest in the New York Jets. And along with this defense and the special teams, everything that's going on around this team, you got to be excited. The Jets are getting the bye week at the right time. Or initially, we're like, week 6, it's a little bit early. Got to get healthy. DJ Reed, Sauce Gardner, concussions. Got to get them back on the field. Got a whole lot to talk about. I got the Dallas Chargers game over here on my side, watching that. Keeping an eye on our Week 9 opponent, the LA Chargers. If you want to get in to the group buy, myself, O'Leary, Greenbean. Still got a few tickets left. TalkinJets.com. Head over there if you guys are interested in that. But I'm very excited. Let's talk a little bit about this game. There's a lot that left you saying, okay, well, the Jets could be even better. Obviously, the defense balling out. And they're going to say, the Eagles blew it. That's what I'm hearing. The Eagles blew it. They lost to the Jets. Did you see those turnovers? There were 4 turnovers by the Jets defense. Only one was a bad decision by Jalen Hurts. One was a fumble. Sorry. That's the Jets. Jets caused that fumble. Jermaine Johnson caused the other 2. He hits Goddard. Ball pops into Quinnen Williams' hands. Now, I'm not saying it's not lucky that the ball bounces a certain way. Sure, there's a little bit of luck to that. But Jermaine Johnson caused that interception. And then he comes back and he causes the second interception, hitting Jalen Hurts' arm. Ball flutters into the air. Bryce Hall is there to kind of wave a fair catch it. It felt good. The only bad decision by Jalen Hurts was the throw to Tony Adams. That was the only bad decision in that stretch. Jets got, a little lucky. There was a few Devontae Smith drops that I think you do at least have to mention. Zach Wilson, not a great stat line. Not a great box score. You can tell who watched the game based on how their reaction to Zach Wilson is. If you see someone saying, Zach sucked, they didn't watch the game. I'm not saying Zach was great, but there were 5 drops. You add those 5 drops back in, Zach is over 70% completion percentage. Zach only had 186 yards or whatever he wound up having. Well, guess what? He had a throw negated to Garrett Wilson on a free play because Lazard made a bad crackback block. Ball was already caught. Ball was like 35, 40 yards down the field. Jets were well on their way having a scoring drive there. So the Jets left points on the board because of the penalties. And Zach played pretty solid. I'm not saying great, but he's maturing before our eyes. And there were three times over the course of this game that I felt pretty encouraged and was excited, maybe, what I got out of Zach Wilson. You saw him hurry up to the line of scrimmage to catch 12 men on the field. He didn't have to run hurry up to get up to the line. He was aware that there were more defensive players on the field, gets up to the line, gets a free play, 12 men on the field. He catches the Eagles jumping. Free play. This is smart Zach Wilson. Smart Zach Wilson. I'm forgetting what my third point was. There were a few things that I really liked about Zach. But to take it a step further. And again, I'm not claiming Zach's like, the second coming of anyone. But right now, the final 3 games of the season, not even the final 3 games, on the season in general, I just want to throw a few efficiency stats out there for you guys to at least be chewing on, kind of think it over. Right now, if you guys don't know what adjusted completion percentage is, that is your completion percentage when it removes the throwaways. So you're throwing a ball out of bounds or throwing it in the dirt, eliminates that. It takes away drops because that shouldn't be a negative on the quarterback if he puts the ball where it should belong. Now, there's a little bit of skewing because obviously maybe Zach had an open guy and he threw it away, or maybe there was a better position where he could have thrown the ball and maybe it wouldn't have been a drop. So there's a little room for error here. But right now, Zach's adjusted completion percentage through 6 weeks, 76.2%. That is tied for 16th in the league. I'll take average quarterback play from Zach Wilson. I have no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. But where I get excited, these 3 weeks that we've seen, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and now the Eagles. We've seen 3 pretty good games out of Zach Wilson. Nothing electric. Obviously, the red zone stuff has to get fixed. You were 1 for 9 in the red zone with the only touchdown coming on a Breece Hall walk into the end zone. Breece Hall walked into the end zone. They allowed him to score. I was panicked. I was like, oh no, don't score. Just run the clock out. I was wrong. It was great. Have more faith in the defense, Ryan. I really should. But you got to clean that up. But over the course of the last 3 weeks, if you take what Zach's stats were for those 3 weeks, and again, not like great games by any stretch of the imagination, but if you take those 3 games and you extrapolate it over a 17-game season, right now, Zach Wilson would have a 67% completion percentage. In 2022, that would have been good enough to be 8th in the NFL. 67% completion percentage. As far as total yards, this doesn't include his rushing yards. I'm just counting his passing yards here. 3,570 yards. That would be 12th best in the NFL last year. So right now, through 3 games, if Zach can continue to give you the level of success that he is currently giving you, you are getting above average quarterback play. Above average quarterback play. It's got to make you feel pretty good, even if he's just average. Like, I'm not even saying he's getting to like the, top 10 or anything like that, or an above average quarterback play. Let's say from the rest of the season out, he gives you consistency of like okay play. That's why we took him number 2 overall. It's these baby steps that you're starting to see. Now, obviously, you want to see him take that big step because that is ultimately why you took him number 2 overall. But coming from week 1 when Aaron Rodgers went down to where Zach Wilson is right now, I'm feeling a lot more confident. And it also allows us to give Simeon a little bit more time behind the scenes. Because I'm not going to try and pull the fleece over your eyes. Quarterback has been a problem for the New York Jets. Zach Wilson, even with this stat line, has been a problem for the New York Jets. The quarterback position has held the Jets back to some degree. But I would argue the penalties have also been an issue. I would argue the offensive line in some capacity. Obviously, Tippmann going down. Hopefully, he's okay. From what it sounds like, Robert Saleh is saying that could be a serious injury, or he's going to be out a while. How long is that? It doesn't seem like it's a season ender from just the little bit that we're hearing. But obviously, if Robert Saleh is saying, it seems like it's going to be serious, or he's going to be out a while, maybe it's not that bad, right? Usually, Saleh is not very dialed into the injury front. whether you like it or not. So obviously the offensive line is still going to be a major point of contention here, but the season gets easier the rest of the way out. The season gets easier the rest of the way out. Let's talk a little bit about the first 6 games of the season. The Jets were 3-3 through the hardest part of their schedule. This is the hardest schedule that any NFL team has had to go against. No team has ever faced 4 teams that the year prior had at least 12 wins. Dallas, Buffalo, Kansas City, Philadelphia. And the Jets made the quarterbacks look like bums. So you got Josh Allen. You got Patrick Mahomes. You got Jalen Hurts. Oh, and it's got me feeling all sorts of good. All sorts of good. Not going to lie. I'm looking forward to the back half of this schedule. I thought Breece and Garrett did just fine yesterday. Obviously, nothing crazy. Breece Hall had about 90-some-odd yards between rushing and receiving, had the touchdown at the end of the game. Garrett Wilson had, I think it was, 8 receptions for like 90 yards or something crazy like that? Was it 90 yards? Am I wrong on that? Might be wrong on that. But he could have had a lot more yards. Obviously, you had that one play negated with the Lazard block. And that bugs the heck out of me, too, because it wasn't like Lazard really laid into him. Because if Lazard wanted to decleat that dude, he could have. He could have taken his lunch money and absolutely nuked that dude in the upper body. And he, he definitely hit him blindside, but he, tried to kind of stand tall. You just can't do it. Can't do it. Got to play smarter than that. Got to be able to play smarter than that. I see Blitz Crew in the chat. What's up, Blitz Crew? He says, given the Bills versus Giants, bring them on. Yeah, right? Bills Giants, let's talk about that for a second. Talk about a stinker of a game. From start to finish. That was miserable. And the Bills got lucky there was not a hold on the end of that game. And thank God Tyrod Taylor doesn't know to not run the ball with no timeouts. That was embarrassing at the end of the half. Bills got lucky. Now, good teams have to win ugly games. Bills won an ugly game. But man, I'm feeling good about going against the Bills again. Because remember, there's no Tre'Davious White. There's no Milano anymore. This team that the Jets faced week 1, this is a different team now. Obviously, they got Von Miller back. I'll take Von Miller at 34 years old or whatever the heck he's at right now. If you're removing Milano and Tre'Davious White. You remove those, I think the Jets are going to have a much more favorable time against them. And the Giants coming out of the bye, I don't want to overlook them. That could very easily be a trap game for the Jets where you have I don't think the Giants are a good team. I think they're going to have a top 5 pick. I really do. I think that is a very, very bad team. And when you look at their scores in primetime, I mean, at one point they were averaging 5 points per game in primetime. Yesterday's game, I guess, helped that average in some capacity. But damn, Giants fans got to be a little frustrated right now. Matthew says JJ is a stud, very happy with his gameplay. JJ's been a freak. That forgotten first-round pick from last year. It was very easy to kind of forget him because he was on not a pitch count, but he was on a reduced role because you had Lawson, because you had JFM, and because you wanted to work him in slowly. Now he's easily won the job from Lawson. He deserves to be on the field every damn day, along with this dude, Bryce Huff. You had Sauce Gardner win Defensive Rookie of the Year. You had Garrett Wilson win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Breece Hall could have been Offensive Rookie of the Year if he didn't get hurt. Very easy to forget about the edge rusher that we traded up in the first round to go get in Jermaine Johnson. This guy's a stud. An absolute stud. And I'm going to toot my own horn here because you can go back and watch the footage. Go back and look at my mock drafts. I wanted Sauce Gardner number 4. Do you know what player I wanted if Sauce Gardner was gone at number 4? Now, of course, The Jets got him at 26, so maybe I'm not, all wise and mighty, but I wanted Jermaine Johnson at 4. Once Sauce was there, I was like, I want Jermaine Johnson to make it to 10. He makes it to 10, that's what I want. Now, clearly, Garrett Wilson was the correct move based on where Jermaine Johnson went. But your dude's got an eye for talent. I'm loving what we're getting out of Jermaine Johnson. Cuddy says, only stat line we need from Zach is 0 interceptions and 0 fumbles. Not making mistakes. He's holding down the fort. You can see this team is able to win if you can get the ball into the playmakers' hands of Breece and Garrett, and the defense takes care of business. Now, the turnovers they're forcing, they are merit-based. They are. The Jets are good at making good quarterbacks look bad. It's huge. Because you're going to face a few other good quarterbacks throughout the way. How does Tua react when he plays a real team? I don't think they've beaten a team over 500 in almost a year. Actually, if the Chargers win tonight, I think that puts them at 3-2. And that would be a winning record. Dolphins have not won against a winning team yet. As electric as that offense is, there's a little asterisk right there until they start beating some real teams. It's going to be interesting. If Zach can continue to learn week in and week out, I'm going to feel real good. Randy comes in. Randy says, Zach is rejuvenated by Aaron Rodgers and Hackett. I cannot get over how different this team's locker room feels since Rodgers came back. Look at where we were just after the Patriot game. This team, this locker room was reeling. You come in and you have Aaron Rodgers come back. And even though he's not on the field, he's given this team confidence. He's a calming presence in that locker room. Very much loving Aaron Rodgers back. Nathaniel Hackett, for all the crap he got all last year, all offseason, he's a terrible head coach. And that may be true. Denver was a mess. Sean Payton, not doing any better. In fact, Hackett had that team with more wins at this point in the season than Sean Payton does. They're shipping defensive guys out left and right. They don't want to play for him. Frank Clark, gone. Randy Gregory, gone. No one wants to play for Denver. Now you're looking at Hackett and you're like, okay, well, he doesn't have Aaron Rodgers. It took him a little bit to kind of get into the rhythm and see what Zach's good at. Build an offense around him. But this is 3 weeks in a row of solid game plans. Chiefs and Eagles, you got to score points. Zach's going to throw it a lot. Don't worry about the run. We're going to work on play action. We're going to get the ball out into our playmakers' hands. Broncos, last in run defense. We're going to run the rock. He's playing to this team's strengths when it goes up against the other team's weaknesses. Right? Maybe I shouldn't say that. I would say there's at least a tactical, well thought out way that Hackett is running this offense. And I'm happy for it right now. We just got to convert in the red zone. The red zone, it's between Hackett and Zach. Either way, the penalties, you got to be able to fix that. Crossfire comes in and says, let's effing go. Great way to return from my vacation. We broke the streak. It's our time. Crossfire, welcome back. Was it a cruise? Is that what you were on? I knew you were going on vacation. But glad to have you back either way. You were sorely missed last week on the Talking Jets panel. Douglas comes in. Quinnen has more interceptions than Sauce for the season. I mean, yeah, Josh Allen has more completions to Jet players than Aaron Rodgers, too. I can make all sorts of stats pop up. Goofy things. I'm not concerned about Sauce whatsoever. Boys and girls, if you're just hopping in, if you haven't seen the poll question, there's a poll question in the chat. Who are you most impressed with heading into the bye week? You've got Zach Wilson, Jermaine Johnson, Quincy Williams, or Mekhi Becton. You could vote on that. Excited to see what you guys have to say. Alex W. says, the offense has been solid outside of the gold zone. Moved down the field with success the last 3 games. Zach has taken a step. The longer he plays in the system, the better he'll get. Have hope, guys. 3-3. It's making me feel good. Make me feel real good. Just P says, Rodgers might come back mid-November. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw the Was it CBS? I think it was a CBS article. I've never heard of the dude that wrote the article. So, real big grain of salt here. But they're saying Rodgers, if he's on pace right now for where he's currently at and it continues to trend in the upward trajectory, he might be back for the Black Friday game. That's Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes. Black Friday game. Is that real life? Feels crazy to me. But I guess it could be a thing. Stranger things have happened. That Candy Boot, thank you so much for the super chat, says, love seeing Big Q get that interception and immediately try to stiff arm that big offensive lineman. Great win, guys. Great spot to be in. And only up from here. JETS. I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Candy Boot. And you're spot on. I was hoping to see another Tyreek Hill plant this dude in the dirt kind of move from Quinnen. Jess P says 11-6 is looking more plausible for this season. Now 11-6, that's a bold prediction. You're saying the Jets are only going to lose 3 games the rest of the way out? I'm optimistic. I don't know if I'm that optimistic. The only score or the only record I care about right now is getting to 4-3. If you get to 4-3, then we can talk about the next week. And then we can say, okay, let's see where we go from there. But Jesse P, I agree. 11-6 sounds a lot more comfortable than where it was just a few weeks ago. Douglas comes in and says, based on physical talent, Zach Wilson's ceiling has always been elite franchise quarterback. Now that he's cleaning up the mistakes and learning to play the quarterback position, his floor is rising each and every game. That's a good way to look at this. That is a good way to look at this. Is there a situation where Aaron Rodgers turns Zach Wilson into a franchise quarterback for the New York Jets? Everyone was ready to write this dude off. Dude, the Patriots game, I was done with Zach Wilson. And then, of course, as soon as I say he's done, he starts going on a nice little tear. So maybe I'll just kind of stick on the Zach Wilson stinks train, even though I'm defending him. Been defending him. We haven't seen our buddy Craig in the chat. Craig's got to take a victory lap. I'd like to see that. But this is a good way to put this, Douglas. Douglas says that the floor is rising each and every game. And that is the best way to look at this, in my opinion. I very much want to see. How'd that do that? What am I doing? Got stuff popping up all over the place. Gonna fix that real quick. I think I fixed it. Raising that floor up. Converting in the red zone is going to make Zach look a whole heck of a lot better, too. Whole heck of a lot better. Cuddy comes in with a super chat. Says, Mekhi Becton pointing clip was amazing. Mekhi Becton, the turnaround he's had is going to put the Jets in a very, very confusing sort of situation because of the emergence of Bryce Huff. What do you do? Now, in my mind, as I'm kind of working my way through this, I'm seeing Huff and saying, wow, this dude's legit. He's done it for 2 years now. He deserves a contract. And I do think that's where I fall right now, is I would rather re-sign Huff to a 2 or 3 year contract. Lock him in. He plays a premium position at an elite level. Mekhi Becton has been playing much better. And obviously being on the field, huge. Absolutely massive. But does Mekhi Becton stay healthy? And he hasn't been healthy the last 2 years. I feel like the franchise tag is kind of, they were saving it for Mekhi Becton. And then they saw Huff do what he's doing, and you're like, oh man. We got to give him more snaps. See if he's worth the $20 million that he's going to command in free agency. You're looking at like 3 years, $60 million for Huff. Potentially. Maybe he'll take a team-friendly discount or something like that. But he's been underpaid thus far in his Jets career. Underpaid. Impressive talent. So does Huff possibly become the franchise tag candidate? And then do you try to work out some sort of deal with Mekhi Becton? The answer is yes. You try to work out a deal with both guys. Get them both locked in. I don't want to use the franchise tag on anyone. I really don't. I very much would like to see Mekhi Becton and Huff on this team moving forward. The franchise tag's going to cause a whole lot of salary cap hurdles if you have to use it. So I'm hoping we see a little bit more. I love that we're getting Huff on more reps. Big fan of that. So, Cuddy, I agree. Mekhi Becton. Impressive. Andy Jet says, I'm still done with him. I believe he's talking about Zach. It's all right. Can disagree. Radimus says, what's good, Ryan? And the chat love. Hit that like button, boys and girls. Got Joe in the chat. Joe says, Tomlinson seems rejuvenated. He has had an immediate impact. I shouldn't say immediate, but he's had a prolific impact on this offensive line because he's playing better. Was that because he was trying to make up some of the issues or make up for some of the issues that Brown had last year? And Brown ended up looking better than Tomlinson? I think it's plausible. Is Mekhi Becton a huge upgrade at the left-hand side that's helping Tomlinson? I think that's entirely possible too. I would like to keep this offensive line together. We have Tomlinson under contract for next year, so if you can bring back Becton at left tackle, you have Tomlinson at left guard. I think we're hoping for Tittman to sort of take that center spot. At the very least, you probably have him as a guard penciled in, and then maybe AVT is the outside. But I would love to see Becton, Tomlinson, Tittman, AVT back at right guard, and then you move on with either Max Mitchell or another tackle on that right-hand side. Going to be fascinated to see how it goes, but could not be happier with where Tomlinson's at. Nelson says, you cut Lawson and Brown retires. Yeah, you got to have Brown retire first and foremost. You're not going to keep him on the team anyway. Lawson, I think his contract's up after this year, so it's not really a huge thing with Lawson. You want to try and move him if you can right now. Whatever you can get. If it's a late-round pick, that's fine. Salary cap-wise, you can figure out Mosley. You can figure out a few of our other higher salary cap hits. I'm blanking on one of them off the top of my head right now. But the Jets I think the Jets are sitting at like $30 million next year in salary cap space, and they could make an additional like $20 million. I love it. Cuddy says, why haven't we used our young backs instead of Cook? So Cook's percentage of snaps is dropping. I believe he only had 15% of total snaps yesterday. Carter did surpass him in terms of percentage of snaps. Breece is just getting a lot more. Breece is really being the bell cow, which I love. You want to use Breece on first and second down? You want to use Carter on third down? No problem whatsoever. Eventually, I would very much like to see Izzy back there. I want to see what he has available. What is he going to be able to do? Because Cook's not going to be here next year. And honestly, he really shouldn't be getting reps ahead of some of these guys. I would rather the upside in Izzy and the experience gained from Izzy than whatever we're getting from Cook right now. That's how I'm feeling. Blitzcrew says, haven't heard anything injury-wise with Garrett. The only thing I heard was Robert Saleh after the game yesterday mentioned something along the lines of Garrett Wilson could have come back in the game. So I don't believe they're concerned at all. Peter says, hey, Ryan, isn't it crazy to know that Zach Wilson gets to put his signature on the wall now for being the first quarterback in our franchise to beat the Eagles? It's a little sad it's taken so long. That was the only team we hadn't beaten. So I'm glad to get that monkey off our back. Making me feel a lot better. A lot better. Where am I looking here? I'm hearing dings and bings and stuff in my ear. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to have to take a look at that. But I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. All right. Let me see. I did have my little comment in here. Let's go to the phone lines once I actually get this in here. All right. I'm going to pin this comment in the live chat. So comment is pinned. You may have to vote in the poll in order to see it. Blitzcrew comes in and says, reports on Carter Warren. High ceiling guy with health. Fell in the draft with the injury. If finally healthy, maybe right tackle after the bye. I feel like that is going to be a little, I don't want to say excessive, but I think it's going to be a little tough to have him be the starter when I think people are saying he's a little raw. We only got to see him in the Browns game, and I'll be honest, I did not keep a close eye on him. But I am happy we get to see him. Cuddy says, who could we be looking at trading? Lawson, Cook, and Hardman. Those are the three. I would not move anyone else. Bryce Hall, keep him. He's proved his worth. Bryce Huff, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. I don't think we're going to get anyone to take Lawson, especially with Frank Clark out there. Hardman, I think, has a shot to go back to Kansas City, but Kansas City may call our bluff and we may just cut him. If there's any salary cap space to be gained by making any of these moves right now, I'm okay cutting them at some point. Now, if you can get anything, obviously that's the play to make. But guys on one-year contracts, even if you can get a late flip-flop of picks, I'm okay with that. Juan Nelson, thank you so much for the super chat. If I see a comment in there, I'll throw it up on screen. But thank you so much. All right. Let me turn on the phone lines. Got a few people calling in right now. Let's go to our first caller. Charles, how you doing tonight?
I'm feeling great, Ryan. I went to my friend's house to watch the game. We sat in the basement. We had pizza, Coca-Cola.
What kind of pizza?
Plain and chicken parm.
Oh, okay.
Plain and chicken.
I had myself a little buffalo chicken pizza, a little chicken bacon ranch pizza. I was feeling pretty good about myself.
I'm not a buffalo guy. I don't do too well with spicy food. I'm not a spicy food eater.
That's okay. That's okay. You're forgiven.
I was extremely impressed with the Jets yesterday. They played with so much energy. They played with so much fire. More love goes to Joe Douglas, and even a lot of it goes to Robert Saleh. I mean, Joe Douglas has done a hell of a job in bringing in talent.
Mm-hmm.
And, to me, the MVP of the game was Jermaine Johnson. I mean, even though he didn't get sacks and a whole lot of pressures, he had an impact. 3 pass deflections, 2 of them led to interceptions. And he was good against the run. I mean, Jermaine Johnson is a dude. Is a stud.
Dude, talk about finally coming into his own. Feels good to have this dude on the team.
And I gotta say, probably our best pass rusher is Bryce Huff. I know Quentin Jefferson. I was gonna say Justin Jefferson for some stupid reason. Quentin Jefferson.
Very similar players. Similar styles, right? No, Jefferson's looked good. He's looked pretty good, but Huff is a dude.
Huff is a dog. I mean, I think he was an undrafted free agent from Memphis in 2020.
That sounds right. But, I believe so. I'd have to look. I actually don't know what school he went to off the top of my head.
And I gotta say, Laken Tomlinson has played better because I said this last year on a forum that I'm a lead moderator on, that if Laken Tomlinson, what helped his play was that he played next to a Hall of Fame caliber tackle in Trent Williams. Trent Williams for quite some time in San Francisco. Now he's playing against a guy that when healthy, very good football player, Mekhi Becton. And Mekhi Becton has been amazing at left tackle this year. I mean, I think it was on Twitter, I watched it, I laughed my ass off, where he buried Derek Barnett and pointed at him like, I got you, boy. I got you, boy. You see that?
Dude, I think I just reset the timer. Sorry. Boom!
It's okay.
You're out of here.
Charles, you've been ejected. That's what happens. I'm screwing around with stuff. I changed the font of the timer. Not font. I changed the color of the timer. So I'm screwing with some of my stuff a little bit over here. That's okay. Pull that off. We've got Jets Nation joining the show. Jets Nation, how you doing tonight?
Hey man, I'm celebrating, bro. Hey man, this was a great win, bro. I went to the game last night. The stadium was electric, bro. It was very electric, man. I realized when these teams come to MetLife, bro, I call it Just Life Stadium because that's our stadium. If
Ooh,
when they
so,
come to Just Life Stadium, they
mhm,
get nervous. They start to choke, man. And especially when Lane Johnson was hurt, we started
mhm,
attacking the right side a lot last
mhm.
night. So I think we did pretty good. Defense was amazing. Same old the red zone offense, we're very bad at that. And Zach Wilson, no turnovers was very like surprising. I was like, wow, really no turnovers? That's new. But I haven't
Especially with
really
a
liked.
good defense. Philly's a stout team. They got 5 sacks on us. They're no
Oh yeah,
slouches.
they killed us. They killed us. But I was glad he held on to the football, taking them sacks. Not making costly turnovers and stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't think really. I would say we got lucky because some of the I think like Smith had a couple of drop passes and stuff. So I
Mhm.
think we got a couple of plays off lucky. And I hated that blindside block by Ali Lazar. It was
Yup.
very unnecessary. He could have just did an upward screen for Garrett Wilson instead of just like doing that, stupid blindside.
He could have just stood
That
there. The guy wasn't going to
yeah,
get
he
him if he just stood
could have.
there.
Yeah, like what was that for? Like that wasn't necessary at all. But besides that though, I this win is like very it is I'm happy because we never I people doubted us after the Aaron Rodgers got hurt. Oh, the Jets
Mhm.
season is over. They're the same old Jets. Oh, they're a lottery team or whatever. We're 3-3 going into the bye week with Zach Wilson as our QB. Couldn't get any else better. Am I
I mean,
right?
I'm feeling pretty good. Talk about like Aaron Rodgers going down. I wanted to be 3-3 with Aaron Rodgers at the bye. I would have been like, okay, at least we got that. But Zach Wilson at the helm, 3-3. I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, but if it wasn't for them sorry ass Swifties and the referees, we probably would have been like, we probably would have been 5-1. I think we could have been 5-1 to be honest.
It
I
was
really think
very
so.
close. I mean, if we had any sort of offensive firepower, like I think if we played the Patriots in that same game right now, I think we beat them. I think
To,
that
to
game
be
goes a completely different way.
to be honest, if our offense was stepping up, we really would be blowing out these teams. We're really being honest because our defense is getting stops, and you know, it's okay though. But I'm happy for us. Cry.
Boom! I'm going to be
You're out of
ruthless
here.
with the button tonight. Thank you for the call. Making some good points. We got Carson show. Carson, how you doing tonight, dude? Carson,
Hold on,
can you hear me?
it's lagging really bad. Hold on. I think you're lagging
Sorry.
really bad. Hold on.
Yeah, it
I'm
might
gonna call.
be.
I'm gonna call back in. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll pick you up. I just booted Carson. We're gonna give him a call back. It might be something on my end. Fiddling with so much stuff over here. My computer's like, "What are you doing, Ryan? Can't do it." All right, Carson, can you hear me?
Yeah. Now I can hear you. Okay.
All right,
So
cool. What's
listen,
on your mind,
Ryan.
Carson?
So this is what I wanted to say. So you remember a few years ago when I was telling you about number 10 when we had the 10th overall spot in the draft, and I was
Mhm.
telling you like, hey, listen, Garrett Wilson's that dude, and
Dude, I was
everyone
wrong.
else was. Everyone else was on Jermaine Johnson. I'm gonna take credit for Garrett Wilson. I'm just gonna say that.
Mhm.
But when you had your 2020 draft show, you had
Mhm.
your 2020 your calling show after the draft. You said I went back to that show and I looked up what I called because I remember I called in during that show, and you asked me. Your question was, "What was your favorite draft pick from the 2020 draft?" And
Mhm.
I can't believe this. I actually said Bryce Huff when we signed him afterwards. I actually said that. I
That's
checked
amazing.
up on the video. I actually said
That's
that.
impressive.
But,
It would have gone right over the head.
Yeah.
So you got an eye for talent, my friend.
Yeah, but listen, in regards to the game, great on the Jets defense. I think Ulbrich deserves a lot of credit. So does Salah as well. I mean, listen, you're down your top two corners. You're going against probably one of the most prolific wide receiver duos in all of the NFL. And we, outside of AJ Brown, Devontae Smith really didn't do anything. He had a couple of drops here and there, but listen, a lot of props to Michael Carter too. I mean, throw him on the outside. He's been nickel with us the entire time. I mean, this dude is a baller. MC2 is a baller. Okay, but I actually wanted to ask your opinion on this was actually the main preface of my call. Actually, how did you think the O-line held up? What was your opinion on the O-line? How do you think Max Milcher performed? How did you if you had to give an overall grade assessment, what would you say? Like a B- against a really good pass rush? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'd say it falls somewhere in there. I think Tippmann getting knocked out and having West get thrown in there was really the biggest detriment to us because you saw a bad penalty from him. You saw a sack given up by him. Outside of that, Mitchell got beat on a sack around the right-hand side, but overall, it didn't feel like he was a liability. Oh, yeah, well, that's just it. I mean, he's a stud pass rusher, and even Mekhi Becton got beat on a little, like, out-in kind of move. And I've liked what we've gotten out of Mekhi, too. Yeah. So overall, I'm pleased with where we're sitting right now in terms of the Jets' offensive line. I'm hoping we can get a little bit healthier and we can see a little bit more consistency. Hopefully Tippmann's not out for a long time because I want to see him get as many reps as possible this year. Overall, I would say I'd give it a solid, I'll give it a B. I think B is fine. I do think the offensive line needs to clean up the penalties. I don't want to see I don't want to see false starts. I don't want to see holding penalties. But overall, pretty happy.
Yeah, the red zone, man. We got to clean up penalties in the red zone and we'd be all right.
Love it, Carson. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Douglas popping in. What's up, Douglas? Douglas says, hey, Ryan, speaking of pizza, did you ever have white garlic chicken speedy pizza when you went to BU? So I didn't know there was a pizza version of a speedy. I do know what a speedy is, and those are delicious. I would totally try it in pizza form. So that's a no for me. I ate a lot of Nurchi's pizza up there. We had a pizza eating contest. I shouldn't say a pizza eating contest, but me and my housemate, for those of you that don't know, Nurchi's is a pizza place up in upstate New York, specifically Binghamton. And they make a sheet pie, 24 slices. So we'd always order 24 slice pie for the 6-person house that I lived in. But me and my roommate getting frustrated. No, I shouldn't say frustrated, but we had a challenge. He's like, I'm so hungry, I could eat everything. I'm so hungry, I could eat everything. So we each got 12 slices. Your boy had a little performance-enhancing drugs, unfortunately. But I went out there. I ate all 12 slices of mine. I ate another 4 of his. Love me some Binghamton University. So if you're in Binghamton and you're watching this, shout out Bearcats. Glad to have you, Douglas. Good comment. Good comment. We got V-Man joining the chat. V-Man, how you doing tonight, brother? Long time no talk. No. V-Man's gone. We're going to go Lima Bean. Lima Bean, how you doing tonight, brother?
Fly, Eagles, fly. That's all I got to say. It was just, I felt so good finally getting that win. I'm happy about it. Like, I trust me, there's a lot of things to clean up. First of all, that blindside block. Yeah, I get it. They're trying to call to the letter of the law, but I saw in that Lions game where the wide receiver completely destroyed Tampa Bay's cornerback, and like that wasn't called for anything. And I don't know. I mean, certain teams get to play rough. Well, they'll call every ticky-tacky thing, on us, which that's the part that pisses me off. It's like, all right, let's play fair on both sides. I'm still waiting for that roughing the passer call, like it's just, it's a lot of that. But I guess the thing is we have a bye coming up. We got to find offensive line help wherever that can be. And honestly, we got to get a trade at receiver or something because, when Garrett Wilson's off the field, we're really thin. Like we need something out there. So I don't know what, but we should add to this team. Nothing crazy, but we should definitely add to this team. And it's really good. Like for all throughout the media saying today I've been hearing is, oh, the Giants got hosed. Like, yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago when we got hosed, you said we shouldn't leave it in the refs' hands. And all those Giants media people, I'm
Mhm.
going to say the same thing. You shouldn't have left it to the refs' hands, But like,
You're
as
right.
for Aaron Rodgers, I'm happy that he's on the sidelines. You ever see the movie Varsity Blues?
I have not. I'm aware of it though.
Well, it was an old '90s movie, but obviously basically the starting quarterback gets injured, and that's where the backup goes in. And you see them like at the end of towards the movie, he's on the sidelines coaching them up with his crutches. That needs to be Aaron Rodgers, just like coaching the team and like doing it while listening to like crazy '90s music. I don't know what, but he needs. I also heard that stem cells apparently heal Achilles, so I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe you should do something about
Dude,
that.
just pump a ton of stem cells into this dude's body. Just everywhere. Fix everything. Make him 20 years younger. All the stem cells.
Yeah,
That's all of them.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, I don't know. We were so close to being essentially 5-1, 4-2. That Patriots game really sticks out now. But like, hey, we're 3-3. We got a chance. We got to crush the Giants. It's just we got to. Like, this can't be a trap game for us. We need to make Daniel Jones look worse than Zach Wilson could ever look. That's what we need to do. He needs to be seeing ghosts. We need to change the name to MetLife or
make it Jet Life permanently, right?
Yeah,
dude, you got to be able to take care of business against the Giants. You cannot allow coming out of a bye week for the Giants to get that win.
Yeah,
if Zach turns into a pumpkin and all of a sudden he's getting pressure on him, I don't want to see that.
No, we need to win. We need to beat them, and we got to do something about this turf. As Garrett Wilson said, this turf is trash, which is something. So
if your star players are saying it,
enjoy this week. Yeah, but I'm just gonna enjoy the bye week and not worry about football for a week. So that's pretty much me.
I'm right there with you, Lima Bean. No losing this week. We've been ejected from the cockpit. V-Man, I'm going to hop over to you right now because I see you got your phone back. Hang in there, V-Man, 1 second. I'm just going to throw Matthew's super chat on the screen. Matthew says, to be honest, I don't know how I feel. Let me reset your timer, sorry. To be honest, I don't know how I would feel to have Aaron Rodgers playing by Black Friday. I don't need this man hurting himself any further. Let's go Jets. I think the Black Friday thing's not happening. I think that is pure clickbait by, I believe it was CBS that put out that article, and it was some guy that I've never heard of. Now, I did not research further into him. Maybe he's some sort of specialist on this, but I tend to think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I think there is a realistic shot Rodgers is back for the playoffs, and I think to some lesser extent, it's only a week earlier, but I think if it was like a win and in situation for the Jets the final week of the season against the Patriots, I think maybe he would come back for that as well. I don't know. Black Friday seems way too accelerated, but if there's one dude that can do it, I'm not doubting Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see. V-Man, what's up, brother?
Oh, what's up? How you doing?
Hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty decent about our Jets, especially where expectations were.
Yeah, no, everything. No one expected us to win this game, and we somehow pull off a win.
It's nice. Finally getting
the thing that amazes me the most is that in spite of the fact that we're basically relying on backup corners, we still have the streak of keeping quarterbacks under 300 yards passing going.
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. I mean, obviously the corner's not being in. What did you think about how Bryce Hall, Craig James, Hayes wound up playing in and even Michael Carter only had 4 cornerbacks suit up yesterday?
Yeah, I thought they played well, given the fact that, you're playing against probably some of the most explosive wide receivers the game has to offer.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown. I thought we were going to get sliced and diced. And obviously Brown got his yards. I didn't love seeing Hayes on him. I would have preferred to see, a safety on him probably. But I'm not going to argue. Clearly it worked.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not going to argue. And the thing is, this is probably one of the finest jobs done by the coaching staff. I mean, you have to give them credit. I think we've been people have been hard on them, but you look at the fact, how many coaching staffs could bounce back from, losing Aaron Rodgers, starting off the year 1-3, and rebounding to get to 500 by the bye week.
Dude, I thought this locker room was going to fall apart after the Patriots game. I saw the string start unraveling. Aaron Rodgers comes back and talks to the locker room. There's a calming presence with Rodgers. So I feel like while it is on coaching because they're there all the time, there is definitely an Aaron Rodgers effect in some capacity on this team. They're believing
Oh,
that
I
he could be
agree.
coming back.
Oh, I agree absolutely. I feel like he is going to come back at this point. It just seems too textbook like perfect for me right
Mhm.
now. It's like, and
If
man,
he comes back
what
for
a
the
funny.
playoffs, if the Jets can sneak into the playoffs and he comes back, it's a whole new season. All of a sudden,
Oh,
the records go out the window. It's 0-0. Everyone is, win and continue on. Forget what the records said prior to that.
Oh, I agree absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. What makes this year even funner is like we're 500. Meanwhile, we get to watch the Patriots in the gutter.
I just hope they win enough games to not get like a stud quarterback. I want to see them lose a
Nah,
lot. Like, I'm hoping the win they got against the Jets this year is the reason they get slightly knocked out and have to run it back with Mac Jones next year. Make me
I
feel good.
agree.
V-Man, you have been ejected from the cockpit.
You're out of here.
All right, we got Kieran, then Jake, then Ty, then Dave. Kieran, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit. Kieran, your mic is muted. Going once. Kieran, go up. There we go. How you doing, Kieran?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. How you feeling about the win against the Eagles?
Everyone's looking at the positive side, but I feel like there's still some things that like the Jets have to clean up. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Sure,
the
yeah.
red zone
Let's go into
offense.
critical analysis. I like this. I'm a fan of constructive criticism.
The red zone offense, absolutely abysmal. Even against the Broncos, bottom 5 defense in the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, we're 1-9 in the
Yeah.
red zone, and the one touchdown we scored was the Breece Hall at the end of this game where he was allowed to run into the end zone. So not
Yeah.
good.
The tackling has not been great either. Honestly, like they could not bring down Jalen Hurts, and even in the Chiefs game, Isaiah Pacheco was just running all over them.
I blame Whitehead
And
for a lot of his missed tackles. Hurts
Yeah.
is kind of a different sort of beast because of the speed and power that he has. He is just a tougher quarterback to bring down. But yeah, clean up the tackles and get the red zone stuff clicking. I mean, there's like, what's nice is the Jets aren't playing to their maximum level of play. There's
Yeah,
stuff to clean up that
course.
we could look better.
And honestly, Zach Wilson has been kind of impressive of what we've seen from him, but he hasn't been great, in my opinion. He's been like as good as you like can need him to be to win games, but that's not going to make you like get a deep playoff run. Maybe give you 10 wins at most. Honestly, like his quarterback rating is still 73.4, which ranks 33rd among active quarterbacks.
Now, that's cumulative
Well,
over the course of the season, right? Like you're including
yeah,
Buffalo
yeah.
and the Dallas
Yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
That's it's
Yeah.
tough, right? Like because you do have to look at the full scope that he's played, but I feel like
Yeah.
there has been a sharp change the last 3 weeks, which does make you feel a little more confident moving forward.
Yeah, it does. I've been a Zach Wilson believer, but I don't know. It's just kind of been tough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. Oh, dude, I hopped off the train after the Patriots game, and at
Yeah.
least he's showing some life to get me excited for the rest of the season. I don't know if he's going to ultimately be the answer, or maybe he's just a backup or whatever, but I'm liking where he's trending at the very least.
yeah, I hopped off after the Jaguars game. That was it for me. When Chris
Oh,
Jones
that was
played better than
brutal.
him, that was
Dude, that was brutal.
horrible.
The only reason I
Oh.
didn't hop off there was because of the contract. That's the only reason I didn't hop off. I was like, he's on this
Okay.
team next year.
Yeah, I was at that Patriots game. The one this year.
Mhm.
Horrible, absolutely horrible. Boot off the field. The worst for me was the check down on 4th and 10.
Oh, that was
That-
situational awareness. I mean, I would love to see on 4th down us actually running routes beyond the line
Yeah,
to
I
gain.
know.
Conklin, the friggin' 5-yard to gain, and you throw it 4 yards. It's
Yeah, like
very
there's no
frustrating to
point in that.
watch. No.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank
Kieran,
you.
you have been ejected from the cockpit.
You're out of here.
We got Jake joining the show. Jake, how you doing tonight? How you feeling after yesterday's win? You look miserable.
No, man, I'm actually beyond thrilled.
There we go. This is the
I mean-
happiest I've ever seen Jake. You guys can't see him. When you guys call in, I get to see the video feeds. Jake is ecstatic. You could actually almost see a grin.
Nah, bro, people know me around like the Jets channels, so don't worry. I'm sure people are fairly aware of who I am. I just tell it like it is. I'm sorry. People may call me Negative Nancy, but I've been a fan long enough to tell you I've seen more bad than good. And
Sure.
look, they're at 3-3 right now. I mean, it's a blessing. I mean, look, the only thing that really stings is we lost to New England. I mean, that's just looking like more and more like such an onus on like what like could have led to such a great time going into the bye. And I mean, going at 4-2, and it's just, you know, it's. Look, like the last kid just said, like, you know, the red zone offense is not great. It's not good. I mean, I did not want to get in a position where we were kicking field goals against an elite off. It's the same thing against Kansas City. I didn't want to kick field goals, and they're just kicking field goals. I'm like, look, Sally, we gotta get this offense going. And I think that the defense has every right to like sit down the offense during the bye week and to say, guys, like, you better get your shit together, or we're literally going to cause a mutiny. I mean, they've done everything on their end at this point without Sauce and Reed yesterday. I mean, dear God, man, like, I'll tell you, Tony Oden or Marquel Manuel, if they're going to be the defensive coordinators next year, if Olbrich gets a job, I'm very comfortable with it now more than ever.
I mean, it was impressive. If there was a game to really just, you know, bottom out, it would have been easy to say, okay, you know what? 2-4 going into the bye. We kind of have to punt on this game because Sauce is out, Reed is out. Would have been very easy to roll over to a good team. And the Jets came to play yesterday. It was nice. Good to see. Great coaching for yesterday. Yeah. But the red zone, I agree. Red zone's got to get cleaned up. It just makes me feel good that there's at least stuff to clean up that seems pretty obvious. And we have a guy in Hackett who ran, obviously with Aaron Rodgers, a great red zone offense at one point. So I'm hoping with 2 weeks, maybe they can get that ironed out against some maybe lesser opponents on the back half of the schedule.
Do you want Cousins? Let me ask you honestly. Do you want Cousins?
No. Nope. I'm okay.
Why?
So the reason I don't want Cousins is because I don't think he really wants to be here. I think that is a big factor in it. I don't think it would cost you a whole heck of a lot. I was saying with O'Leary, I was thinking a 3rd-round pick either this year or a 3rd-round pick in some sort of conditional status that elevates maybe a little bit with team success.
Right, not to cut you off. I was listening to Jake Asman. He said that there was a report that he said that he reached out to the Jets and the Jets said no. So are you sure
maybe
about
I didn't
that?
see that one. The last report I saw from Cousins was that he's not accepting any trade. So maybe he reached out to the Jets prior to saying he's not going anywhere else. But
then why would he want to not waive his trade clause? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's
if the Jets are saying no, maybe he'd rather stay in Minnesota and then get shipped to another team. Like, he knows he's at least putting up stats in Minnesota, even if Justin Jefferson's going to be down for 4 games. I think I'd rather stay in a dome in a division that you think you can win to maximize your earnings. I think he saw the Jets and said, like, if that's true, I have no idea where that's coming from. But if that's the case, I mean, it makes me feel pretty good. If he actually wants to be a New York Jet, I feel like there's got to be something going on. The contract's not bad. If he's traded, it's like 1 year, $7 million. And for the Jets to be asking for fucking season ticket holders to be paying their 2024 tickets already, dude, there's money on the table. You cannot say that.
Wait. The Jets are asking them to do that now? Are you serious?
Yes. Pay for your 2024 season tickets. It's straight up bullshit. Straight up bullshit.
They kept calling me like a couple months ago. Oh my God.
Ridiculous. Usually you don't pay your season tickets till February.
Oh my God, you've got to be kidding me.
You can't do that. Especially with, I think it was Deanna Rossini or Josina Anderson, one of those two, said that the reason the Jets are not making a more prominent move at quarterback is because of the economics of the situation. So if you hear that and then you see them asking for more money from season ticket holders who are already getting dragged through the dirt, I'm not about it. Jake, good call. Let's keep you happy the rest of the season. Jake, been ejected from the cockpit. All right. We've got Ty Perk joining the show. Ty, how you doing tonight? Ty going once. Oh, I see you. You're muted. There we go. How you doing, Ty?
Can you hear me? You can hear me?
I got you loud and clear.
All right, cool. How you been, man? This is my first call in.
I appreciate it. I'm glad you're calling in. How you feeling on a victory Monday for our New York Jets?
Hey, man, what are we, 1-12 now?
1-12 against the Eagles? Yep. That's okay. The most important one is the one.
Yeah, we're going to even it up, man. We got a couple years to do so. We're going to get it right.
Just a smooth 50 years. We'll get it there.
Yeah, that shouldn't take that long though. But anywho, no, it was a good game, man. Defense ain't 85 Bears, but I'd say 2000s Ravens, maybe.
This is a stout defense. It's a really impressive. I don't know if it's going to be. I think the Ravens had some sort of record amount of points not scored against them. They held everything, like every team, under like a crazy threshold. I don't think we'll see that because of the way the rules have kind of gone. But this defense is special.
I mean, yeah, we got that bend don't break mentality. You know what I'm saying? Red zone is very hard to score on us, so hang our hats on that.
Yeah, I was in the AFC East roundtable before this, and one guy was in the chat just harping on, the Jets are 24th in yards allowed. It's like, okay, I don't care if the Jets are 32nd in yards allowed. If they're not scoring points, I don't give a damn.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's the main thing, keeping them to field goals or none whatsoever. I mean, shit. Last night, that if Elliott hit that field goal, we'd be talking about a different game. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, at the very least, if he hits that field goal, then they lose by, not 6 points. They lose by what, 3 points instead. Or there's a different mentality towards the end of that game.
Exactly. Jalen wouldn't have gone for that bomb towards the end. He would have just been trying to get in field goal position because they had plenty of time.
Sure, it was definitely a little bit of a gift.
Zach, you think he's going to keep growing? You think we've seen a ceiling? What do you think about Zach?
I don't think we've seen his ceiling. I'd like to believe there's still a lot more ceiling to go. One of our commenters, Douglas, said earlier that the floor is raising up on Zach Wilson, and that's what I want to believe, because if you can get baseline this Zach, the Jets are going to be able to win a lot of games. So I'm hoping to see more, and I'm hoping to see some continued success, or maybe some actual success from Zach Wilson when we start facing some of these teams that are a little lesser in the difficulty department on the back half of the schedule.
For sure, yeah. And then my last thing I'll say, I don't think Dalvin Cook's falling off as much as people think. What I think is happening is we're kind of saving him and McCole Hardman for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Holding them back a little bit. Then once we get to playoff football, we throw them out there and they get they're fresh. You know what I mean? So that's my idea. I don't think they're done with. I think we're holding them back.
Thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected. I disagree. I think Dalvin Cook definitely looks cooked. He doesn't feel like the insurance policy that we thought we were going to have when we signed him. And then in terms of Hardman, we're already talking about trading him. There's comments about it. So I feel like if you're talking about trading him already, you're not necessarily saving him for the playoffs. Phil comes in. Phil says, Zach hits screens, flip passes, caused offsides, learning. I'm okay with that. I'm good with Zach learning. He's getting me feeling a little more comfortable each and every week. Randy says, this D is the 2023 Jets, F, the 85 Bears. Randy, I'm with you. I want this Jets defense to be the best Jets 2023 defense it could possibly be. You don't have to compare it to other teams. Juan, then Dave. Juan, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling good on heading into the bye week. I wasn't expecting to be here this Monday, so pleasantly surprised.
I didn't expect this win at all, especially once I found out Sauce was out and DJ Reed. It was like, nah, I don't even want to watch it. I really did. Hey, what I wanted to talk about was player development. I'm thinking that this is the best coaching staff I've seen since Mangini developing talent. That thing when you talk about undrafted free agents coming in balling out on an NFL level, it hasn't happened for us in a long time, real
100%.
long time.
I think you're spot on. Mangini was probably the last one to actually develop players. Now, you might be able to argue Rex with some of the defensive guys, like maybe Rex unlocked Revis or something, but this definitely feels like guys are learning because of the coaching staff.
Yeah, it's, Rex hit, he missed on so many first-round draft picks. It was everybody says, well, he wasn't a GM, but the truth is he picked those first-round picks. He did. Those was Rex guys. I'm talking about from
Muhammad Wilkerson, Kyle Wilson, Quentin Copels, Louisville Slugger. You can't tell me that didn't have Rex's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, it was all big dudes who love to hit, at one time, but the skill level wasn't there to develop. And my last thing is the trade deadline. What teams or what guys are we eyeing to get better, especially on the O line or bringing some other guys in? What team or players that you're looking at? Because I know you do a lot of research when looking at guys that's possible trade partners and stuff like that. So what do you see out there, real low-hanging fruit that we can jump up and might grab?
So I think not so much a trade for an offensive lineman. I think it's going to be a little tough to get an offensive lineman in a trade. I don't know if teams are going to want to trade guys that can help their offensive lines. Maybe there's someone out there that's disgruntled, that's not happy in their current situation, that's underperforming. I would flip someone for that player, like a late round kind of swap that someone's looking to cut anyway. I'd be fine with that. I don't know who that player is. As far as other positions that I'd be looking at, well, La'el Collins, I would like to bring him in. I'd like to bring him in, see what he can do. At the very least, he provides some depth behind Max Mitchell at the right-hand tackle, because I don't know how you're feeling about Carter Warren, but I'm not warm and fuzzy on him just yet. We haven't seen enough from him. Now, as far as other players go, I do think receiver is something the Jets could look into. And it kind of depends on the cost. I don't think the Jets are going to spend a premium, because in this offseason, you're going to see T. Higgins, you're going to see Mike Evans, you're going to see Darnell Mooney, you're going to see Hollywood Brown. There's a lot of guys that are going to hit free agency, or at least may hit free agency. If there's like a third-round pick value on a good receiver, Mike Evans is the one I want to get in free agency next year, because his timeline matches up really well with Garrett Wilson's contract that he's eventually going to need. And he provides a different style of play, like a go up and get it kind of guy. I like Lazard, but I don't want to have to rely solely on Lazard. I like the way Hackett kind of called the offense yesterday, where you saw a lot of heavy personnel, and you got to see like 6 offensive linemen on the field, or three tight ends that were essentially all offensive linemen, and then you have 1 wide receiver and 1 running back. I'm okay running that style of offense because it kind of keeps defenses off balance. You don't know what you're going to run out of that. And Ruckert is a receiving threat. Conklin is a receiving threat. So I don't know. If I had to pick one position to look at, I think it would be receiver, but I don't want to go crazy expensive on it either. Juan, is there someone you were kind of like hoping for maybe?
Well, yeah, I've looked at the Mike Evans situation. If they were willing to trade, especially that Tampa, when they did their Super Bowl run, we gave them a D tackle that we was going to let go.
Yeah, we gave him snacks, didn't we?
Yeah,
was it snacks, or was it Doozable?
Yeah,
I don't remember. I'm losing my. No, it wasn't Doozable. It had to be snacks.
I think it was snacks, and I think just having that from familiar trade. Now is our turn. What can y'all give up, on this side? But you never.
That'd be
know.
nice,
So,
right? I'll take it.
What I'm saying.
Juan, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Dave. Dave.
Yeah, Rattling! He took me! Hey, Ryan! We just beat him! I'm at the Chargers game, baby! Let's go!
Let's go! I love it. I'm looking at Dave. I'm looking at the video. I'm like,
yeah! 1 and 12! I love you, bro. My battery's at 1%, bro. I'm at SoFi. We beat those guys. We beat the streak, dog. Let's go, baby.
Jets. Oh, Dave, I love it. He's in the stadium.
Hey, my battery's going to die. My battery's going to die. Hey, why we can't get our red zone offense going? Why is this guy slippery like a fish with Vaseline?
Jets.
Yes. Let's go, baby. Ryan, I love you, bro. We got our win. We got our season. Let's support the Jets, baby. Let's go.
I love it.
All day.
Fuck the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Dave, I'll say this. Red zone wise, we got to figure it out. We got to figure it out. We got to figure out the red zone stuff. We figured that out. The ceiling is so high.
The refs are a joke. This guy's slipping out like a fish with Vaseline, dog. Okay? Fish with Vaseline. Fucking 4-0 turnover. 4-0 turnover ratio. We should be blowing them out.
100%. You got to be able to score a lot of points. Dave, I'm sorry. I think your phone just died. So you're going to be ejected from the cockpit. He's at the Chargers game right now. Dallas and LA, 7-7. I got Eckler on my fantasy team, so I need Eckler to go off. Unfortunately, Keenan Allen, who I'm going against, scored a touchdown earlier. So I'm not loving that. We got Devin joining the show. Devin, how you doing tonight, brother?
Flying high.
You look like you're flying high, my friend.
I'm not that kind of high. I'm high on life, Ryan.
High on life. Okay, I'll take it.
Let's just put it this way. My neighbors both came over last night, knocking on my door, asking me what the noise was all about because I couldn't contain myself. I woke both my children up last night. I woke my wife
so
up
mad
out
at
of
me.
bed last night.
I'm screaming, we just won the game.
Oh, I broke down in happy tears for the first time involving this team last night.
Felt good.
It felt great to have the monkey off our back.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of 0-12. It felt good to see Zach not only look competent, but at times look like there is another level to his game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it could be a Kansas City Zach is what we could see from him at all times.
I hope so. If we can get Kansas City Zach with the red zone conversions, it's a lethal combination. Make me feel real good.
If we get red zone Zach from Kansas City and moving the ball Zach from, say, this week, because he took that drive from the 7 all the way down until that bulk, the BS call.
Uh-huh.
That was BS.
Dude,
that was
I mean,
100% BS.
It was a crackback block, but it definitely didn't feel like it was like an intentional, like, I'm going to hurt this guy. It was like, I'm just going to kind of like, he's going to know I'm here. Kind of a hit.
Go look at the definition of a crackback block because they changed the definition, Ryan.
I know, and
that
this one
wasn't
falls
a
under it,
crackback.
Unfortunately. It isn't anymore, really.
No,
why wouldn't
it's
it
not.
be a crackback?
He led with the shoulder.
But I feel like
that's the whole thing.
So if you lead with the helmet, that's the crackback block?
Yep.
I don't think that's right. Crackback is when you're moving back towards your line of scrim or back towards like your end zone, I'm pretty sure. And
I mean,
because it was like
I could be wrong.
I think it's head on a swivel type stuff.
It was BS regardless.
Well, I was frustrated. I mean, you got to see Lazard didn't even have to do it. That's the most frustrating part. Is like he could have just stood there. Could have just stood in the way. Could have just been one of like a traffic cone that knocks you like slightly off path.
Yep.
That's all you needed to do. Instead, it negated like a 35-yard gain or whatever that would have been.
I did see in one of my Jets chats on Facebook people cracking on Zach about the 4th down attempt. That's a play Conklin usually turns upfield. That was a great defensive play.
I would have liked to have seen Conklin run beyond the sticks. Like, go an extra yard. If it's 5 yards, go 6 or 7 yards. But the way Zach threw it kind of didn't really give him much room. He did have to come back to it a little bit. So, I don't know. I would have liked to have seen maybe a different play call there. But, Devin, thank you so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. We've got How About Them Jets joining the show. How about them Jets? How you doing tonight?
Hey, Ryan, how you doing? Good evening.
I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty decent tonight.
Good.
How you feeling?
Yeah, good. So I was at the game yesterday. Crazy. I mean, I was nervous all the way until the ending. But the one thing I wanted to ask you, because I know you do every Zach Wilson pass. And maybe I wasn't seeing it right or not, but right around, it was 3rd and 7, fourth quarter, like around 5 minutes, 25 seconds or so. And what I saw was Mecole Hardman line up all the way to the right. And the corner for Philly was running across the field trying to go cover Mecole Hardman. And I'm screaming, like, Zach, you need to throw the ball. You need to get that ball out right away. I didn't see that in your pass play, but I'm not sure if you were able to go back and look at that play.
I got to look at it. I know exactly which one you're talking about because they mentioned Hardman's actually on the field right now, and is when Garrett got pulled out of the game for the ankle, I think.
Yes.
So I know exactly which one you're talking about. I'm surprised it's not in there.
Yeah.
There wasn't a penalty. Sometimes if there's a penalty, I'll pull the clip. Like I won't actually throw it in there. I just don't remember how that play ended.
Yeah, because if Zach snapped earlier,
Mhm.
it was a clear touchdown.
He's so fast, Hardman.
and
I don't
think he
want to
ended-
see the
and
Jets
he ended
trade him
getting
because he's
sacked
that level
when-
of
yeah.
weapon.
Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to give a call in, to point that out. Like, I was fine with Zach throughout the entire game. That was just the one play I wish that, he could have snapped the ball a little quicker and get it out there. The other thing is, I know you guys have the Chargers game coming up. That you guys still have tickets for that?
Yes, we do.
I think
Chargers game
Larry
coming
said
up
you guys do.
November 6th, talkingjets.com. We have a few tickets left. I think we're somewhere around 10 tickets left, I think, is what we're sitting on right now.
Okay. All right. I will definitely take a look into that.
I would love it. I would love to meet you. I actually so we're going to have like a flagpole by our car, so you'll be able to see like where we are. And then we also got like a 10 by 10 wall for a pop-up tent with the logo. It just came in today, so I'm like pretty excited about it. I sent Matt and Greenbean the picture of it. But
what I wanted to show you really quick, so
Yeah.
I went to the King Call in by me, and I got a Breeze Hall Bud Light thing.
Wow.
So
Is that
I
looks
asked the guy in
life
the
size?
Yeah, it's life size. So I asked the guy, I was like, "Hey, are you gonna throw it out?" He's like, "You want it?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Take it."
Absolutely.
So
That's awesome. That's a great thing to add to the man cave. For those of you guys that can't see it, this thing's like, you're in like a theater room. You got a theater in there.
Yeah, so this is where I
dude,
usually...
you're preaching to the choir. I went to school for cinema. I want like a theater in my house at some point. I don't have room for it right now, but like I want to convert my garage into it. You got a setup, my friend.
I got the seats.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so badass. You guys got to check this out.
So I hope I see you.
If you haven't joined the Discord yet, I would encourage you to join the Talkin' Jets Discord and post a picture of your man cave. We have a little section for man cave photos, and that's a really cool one. If you feel like sharing it with anyone, it's neat.
Yeah. I'll look into it because I never really follow up all the different things, but
that's all right. That's totally fine. I appreciate the call. Hopefully we see you out there for that Chargers game. How about them Jets? You have been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we got Joe joining the show. Joe, give me 1 second. I got to get to Randy's comment real fast. Randy says, we need to use Hardman in the red zone jet sweep. We need to use him in some capacity, I feel like. Him and Gibson, get them on the field, get the speed moving. Honestly, with the red zone issues we've been having, I'd love to see Mike Evans come in here and just solve all our red zone woes. But Joe, welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, what's up?
I'm hanging in there. I'm having a good night. How are you feeling about the win yesterday?
Feel great, man. First win ever against the Eagles. Want to hear a funny story? So my Sauce Gardner jersey was dirty, and I'm like, what am I going to wear? I don't want to wear the white Quinnen Williams, the visitor's jersey. So I pulled out a Jamal Adams jersey, which I have on now, and you know what? We fucking won.
I may have tossed my Jamal jersey out. For a while, I had impeached written on the back because he was the president, get his ass out of here. But I'm a big superstitious guy. I will wear the same thing consistently if we're winning. I will not wear the same. I got to switch it up if we're doing something different. I've been wearing the same underwear since we were in the playoffs last. So I'm itching to really get this playoff appearance now.
Oh my God. Listen, as for the game, I think Zach Wilson, had control of the game. I don't think he did great, but he didn't do bad. I think it was more in the middle. And I keep saying, again, he's progressing. And that's only a good sign for me. But I really was impressed with Quincy Williams.
Dude, he has been probably would we say our MVP? Definitely defensive MVP right now. Guy's playing out of his mind. He's playing to a Pro Bowl level, or an all-pro level. He's absolutely elite in coverage, and he's knocking the piss out of people too.
I'll tell you what, man. I think Bryce Huff, they got to resign him. They're probably going to cut Carl Lawson. If not this year, next year.
So he's a free agent after this season. So they're definitely just going to let him walk. I don't think he's going to end up signing anywhere. He seems like I think the back's really an issue for him.
Yeah, great. What do you think about signing Bryce Huff again?
You got to bring him back. You cannot allow him to hit the open market. I would say so much as to potentially franchise tag him in place of Becton and work out a deal with Becton. One of those two guys. Over the course of the bye week, I want Joe Douglas working on deals for Becton and Huff at least by the end of the season. Don't allow them to hit free agency. I don't want to have to use the franchise tag, but right now, Huff is looking like one of those guys you don't want to let go. He's playing at an elite level, at an elite position. And he's our guy. We groomed him. That's our dude.
I agree. Can't wait for the upcoming game against the Giants. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the Jets are going to win, and we're going to be 4-3.
I really hope so. I don't think the Giants are a very good team. I think they're going to wind up earning a top 5 pick. But the Jets beating Philly and then going into the bye, it would not shock me if we're feeling ourselves a little bit and it winds up being some level of a trap game. Just come out and take care of business. I don't want to see us playing down to the level of the competition. I want to see us play up to the Eagles. I want to see us play up to the Chiefs. I want to see us dominate. We would have dominated the Broncos had we gotten any red zone touchdowns.
I'll be honest, Ryan. I think we should be 5-1, not to say none. We should have beat the Chiefs, and we should have beat the Patriots.
Yep. 100%, Joe. This team is a good friggin' team. Joe, you've been ejected from the cockpit. I've got Chris from Florida, then Joe, your Atlanta Jets fan. But first, I got Douglas saying, same underwear and 2 kids. Damn, that is true love. You got to have the little flap covering, right? You pull it to the side. Does anyone actually use that? I'm not that. I pull the whole boxer down. Not the whole, just the top. There you go. A little too much information for you on a Monday night. We've got Chris from Florida joining the show. Chris, how you doing, brother?
Let's freaking go, baby! Jets, 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 Jets. I'm using the left of my voice while screaming this, baby. Let's go 3-3 bye week. Come on, Ryan. Let's keep on the hype. Let's go. Oh, my gosh. What a game. What emotions. Oh, amen to the defense. What a freaking game. The defense. Bro, top 3 defense. I don't want to hear top 5. Top 3 defense. And we're going to destroy the Dolphins when we come at them. I want to see Tyreek Hill. All this talk about his fielding, all his catches. He's going to get nothing. He's going to get nothing against us. Bring it on.
I love it.
Man, what a great game.
Dude,
what a great
Miami,
game,
they
man.
haven't beaten a winning team yet right now. And they're talking all high and mighty. They're pounding their chest. The Jets here are just chugging along. I can't wait for the Black Friday game. There's no way they're putting up crazy points on us. Look, I'm sure Tyreek and I'm sure Waddle could both have scores in that game. They're not going to be able to bottle up that kind of offense. But I think they're in for a rude awakening. I think Tua is going to have a nightmare with this defensive line.
No, absolutely, man. I keep telling all my Dolphin friends, I'm like, you better have that boy in bubble wrap. Because if you think you had a problem with him last year, you ain't going to see him the rest of the season. And I dare Mike White to come at us because he already know what we're going to be bringing if he jumps on that field. Oh, my gosh. Right. I love this game. I was in full of emotion. Zach Wilson, and I said it after the Chiefs game, and I'll say it again. We have to keep lifting this kid up. I'm super glad he's trying to keep control of the ball. He's doing what he can. I'm still putting up a lot of love because imagine what this kid could have learned while under Hackett's system and still behind Aaron Rodgers. I think he's still a future. I think what he's trying to prove is like, hey, don't just like fall off me yet. Because we all know Aaron Rodgers is coming back next year. And sure. I think what Zach Wilson just really wants to show is like, if you give him the opportunity to learn under someone like Aaron Rodgers, he can become that caliber. I mean, yes, Jordan Love, they're kind of like up and down right now with him.
Sure.
But, I mean, come on. What could we possibly lose if we could really have this kind of basic play? His ceiling is so high. But other than that, man, defense, beautiful game. Yes, we got to work on the red zone and everything like that. That's something that, hey, we were all talking about how bad we were to start with Zach Wilson. And we were like, plays are terrible, interceptions. We have to elevate. We're going to do it slowly, but we're still elevating. Basic quarterback play we wanted, and that's what he's given us. Can't get mad about that, right?
Cannot get mad about it. Chris from Florida.
One last
one more.
J-E-T. Jets, 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 Jets.
Chris, you're gonna blow people's eardrums. I had to drop the interview volume on that one. I should have known it coming into it. Dude's juiced. I love it. We got Joe, then Savage, then Alex. Joe, how you doing tonight, brother? You're an Atlanta Jets fan.
Die, Eagles, die in the road to misery. Die, Eagles, die on the road to misery. Jets, 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 Jets.
I love it.
Once again,
absolutely love it.
Once again, Zach Wilson looks like the best quarterback on the field. Let's go.
Let's go. You feeling good? You feeling confident with Zach moving forward now?
Hey, yeah, I already been feeling comfortable with Zach. You know, I'm the only Zach Wilson fan.
Dude, you were on the bandwagon the whole time. You never hopped off.
Never hopped off. I still believe in the kid because he has so much upside. Like, he game managed. Like, that was his best game managed game. Like, you can tell we don't need Justin Herbert's or Pat Mahomes' number. Just give us Mark Sanchez numbers. Give us 199, 0 interceptions, 1 touchdown, and let defense. Like, it's just that simple.
Dude, lean on Brees, lean on Garrett. Let your playmakers make plays, and just give your defense a chance.
Yeah, that's it. That's all. And he definitely did. Shout out to Robert Saleh for calling a hell of a game. Like, and Jeff Ulbrich too, because I think he definitely dropped his nuts. Like, when we was in 54, we could have kicked the ball for 54 yards. And he was like, nope, let's go ahead and take the penalty, take 5 yards back, punt it, pin them against the end zone, and see what they're gonna do. Like,
dude, I was like hoping to see those field goals. I would have liked to have seen the 58-yard kick. I think that was the first one that they went for it on 4th down. And then the punt, I was like, oh, man, Zerline's just kicking so well just to leave those. I shouldn't say leave those points, because those are like lower percentage kicks. But, man, they have a lot of faith in that defense.
Yeah. And the defense has gotten, like, nobody's seen that. Like, not even the Eagles. That should have been a humbling experience for the Eagles, because they thought because our top 2 cornerbacks wasn't on the field, they thought they could just throw the ball. Like, 45 times on us is crazy. Like, you're throwing the ball 45 times. That's not Jalen Hurts' game.
You got to take advantage of the weakness. That's where the weakness was. Our front 7 is not weak, but when you're missing your starters, you're missing your backups in Eccles and Hardy. It was not that we'd put Hardy out there as a corner necessarily, but it's a big task to be without your starting corners and to do what the Jets did against the Eagles.
Absolutely. Bryce Hall held up. Tay Hayes held up. Craig James held up. Tony Adams with the clutch interception to seal the game off. Man, I was at my one of my friend's house. He's an Eagles fan, so it was just so great.
Oh, just rub it in, just dig it in a little bit deeper. Twist the knife as you have it in there. Joe,
one more time.
Been ejected from the cockpit. Oh, I should have let you do the fly, Eagles, fly. Die, Eagles, die. Got Savage, then Alex on the line, but I want to go to Blitzcrew first. Blitzcrew, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Zach needs to find his red zone go-to guy, not named Garrett. I completely agree. I feel like it might be the tight ends. Can't ask that man to do more. Got 2 weeks if we're going to trade him. Imagine our special teams with Irv, Charles, Eccles, and Hardy. Yeah, we didn't have any of those. Well, I mean, I guess we had Irv out there. But special teams is looking like a pretty solid unit overall, both from a punting, a kicking, and a recovery standpoint. I would love to see him find his red zone target, though, Zach. And I feel like if I were to, look at one of our receivers, I mean, Lazard's got a big frame. Maybe you could throw it up to him if you like that. I feel like the tight ends, though, there's some degree of comfort there, but you got to figure it out. You cannot go 1 for 9 with the only time you're getting into the end zone was with Brees being allowed into the end zone. Can't have that consistently. All right, we got Savage joining the show. Savage, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hanging in there, brother. Hey, more than hanging in there. It's we're doing pretty good. How are you, fam?
Dude, I'm feeling a lot more confident. And it's not to say that, like, Zach Wilson's the guy, but just the fact that he's not floundering makes me feel a little bit better.
1,000%. Same here. Just giving what they take. Now, mind you, he's missing things, but like you guys were saying earlier before, he's delayed in his approach to the NFL, if you will, because of Coach Knapp, and now he's got a real guy in Hackett. It's no more LaFraud in it. It's and you can see it. It's evident, man. It's evident.
Yeah, I feel it. And you have Aaron Rodgers, too. Like, at least being able to pick someone's brain that's done it before and has been there. He's sat on the bench. He's sat behind great quarterbacks. He's seen the game. He's one of the more cerebral guys that we've seen come through the league at the quarterback position. So he's got a lot more of a knowledge base to be able to bounce questions off of.
And he's cool, too. It's like if Jordan could, like coach, because, that was always the comparison. It was saying, oh, yeah, great athletes and everything like that. It was always with Jordan. And Rodgers, hey, man, I can't say nothing bad about the guy. And saw before, even when he was with Green Bay, just watching a little bit of Pat McAfee and stuff. I'm like, yeah, how they're saying him isn't really him. And it's evident, and it's awesome to see, man. And he's in it to win it all the way. It's beautiful.
Dude, it's nice because everyone before the season, you're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers. He's not invested in the team. He's going to skip the workouts. He's on the decline, all this stuff. And who knows? Maybe there is some physical decline there that we didn't get to really see because he only played 4 snaps with us. But at the very least, he's bought in. He's doing all the things that everyone told us he would not do in a million years. He's invested in the city. He's invested in the franchise. He's invested in the fan base. It feels nice to see what he's trying to do. He doesn't have to be walking around on the field throwing passes before the game. He knows that's what could help motivate the team. And there is some level of like he likes the limelight too. Like he's definitely smitten with everything going on in New York.
He's human, why wouldn't he? And if we clean up the red zone, oh man, look out.
Dude, lethal team. If you can just convert on like 50% of those, this team's a lot more lethal than where I think
play
people thought we would.
abracadabra, man. Gotta have our magic man in there. Bench Crook and then, see what's up with Carter, but I don't know.
I like it, Spooner. I like it. You've been ejected from the cockpit. He's saying some good stuff. I've got Alex, then Barney, then Tim on the line. But first, we're going to go to Randy. Randy says, we just need Zach to play like playoff Nick Foles. I mean, that's asking a lot. That's Super Bowl level Nick Foles. If we can get that out of Zach, Jets are going to be feeling real good. J-Boy's coming to the Talking Jets-Chargers game. Greg the Leg MVP. Jets win, baby. Week 9 coming. Can't wait to see you there, brother. Very excited. Alex joins the show. Alex, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, Ryan. Hey, man. Just wanted to say, Jets, let's effing go, man. Just totally surprised. I was working at that time, and I mean, just to stop, I was hopefully not getting to a crash, but unexpected win. But this team overall is just playing with confidence, Zach Wilson, he's playing out of his mind right now. Of course, getting a higher ceiling, higher expectation, but at the same time, we just got to stay humble. Like I know all of us we're riding high. The memes from whoever was doing the social media for the Jets. Much applause. Give him a promotion.
Dude, every single one was a zinger. It was just like, oh, man. I have them clicking through. I don't know if you're watching the stream or just calling in or not, but I got it clicking through all the little stuff that they've posted.
Yeah, my wife complained. She was like, the one with Hackett and Zach Wilson. She's like, I wish you could hold me like that. I'm like, one day.
I wish you could love me the way Hackett and Zach love one another.
Yeah, but overall, much praise to the team. I've been a long life Jet fan, everyone here as well, and just hopefully I can show my sons that they can actually win some games, and and have a brother or a sibling to that Lombardi Trophy that I've been waiting since Super Bowl III.
Now, how do you feel the rest of the way out? The schedule gets a little bit easier. We've seen what we've seen from Zach so far. Are you feeling confident? You think this could be a playoff team?
Oh, most definitely. I'm just waiting for the Dolphins. Like I live here in South Florida, and I'm just waiting for the Dolphins. I'm just waiting to destroy the Dolphins. like
Dude, I'm
Cracker
licking
2
my
essentially.
chops. That's the one game I would say I'm like really looking forward to. Like the rest of the games are like, okay, fine, I'm going to enjoy them. But the Dolphins have been talking so much damn smack to start the season. And, oh, you only beat us because we didn't have Tua last year. Like, okay, all right. You guys are talking a lot of stuff. Back it the fuck up.
Amen to that, brother. But if anything, I gotta finish cooking here before I get yelled at. But like I say, let's go Jets.
Dude, I love it,
Jets,
Alex.
Jets,
Enjoy your
Jets.
food. You have been ejected from the cockpit. I wasn't sure what he was doing. So you guys can't see the video feed, but when I saw it, it was like looking up in the air, and there was like sort of a cabinety thing. I'm hearing running water. I'm like, Alex just took a leak. He's peeing in the bathroom. He's talking to me in the bathroom. That's okay. He's cooking food, though. It makes me feel a little bit better. We got Barney joining the show. Barney, how you doing tonight, brother?
What's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
All right, man. All right, I got 3 minutes. I got 3 things I want to cover.
Fire away.
I'll tell you, Zach, culture, and Rodgers. All right. So start with Zach. Here's what I have to say, because a lot of people's like, oh, we did okay, but we didn't make touchdowns. We didn't do this. I mean, if you think about it, who got rattled yesterday? The guy who was in the Super Bowl, or Zach? Zach got sacked more than Jalen, but Jalen was the one who got rattled. When we played the Bills, who got rattled? Allen got rattled. Okay, we're rattling other people. If there's one improvement that Zach has made that I think is great, is think how rattled he would get by Belichick. And I know Belichick kind of got his number this year, but even that game, he wasn't as bad as he was last year, throwing 4 interceptions. And to me, that's the biggest thing with him. It's like, he sees someone coming, he takes a sack. That's fine. Sack's better than a fumble. Sack's better than running back. 3rd and 15 is better than 3rd and 25 like it was last year, the first years. So
sure. I'd like to
think,
see him throw the ball away, like even just throw it in the dirt. Don't get the intentional grounding or anything, but like there's certain ones, and you saw it kind of click, right? Like the naked boot to the left got sacked. When he came back the other way, went to the right, got it to Rucker. So he's
if you read about that, even Salah said, "Oh, they messed up the first time, and like they were supposed to have someone there the first time." But anyway, the point is that he wasn't afraid to do that same play again, and he had the answer. Like he's not making the same mistakes twice. He's not getting rattled. Okay, so that's my Zach stuff. Here's the culture thing. I know everyone talks about it. We all saw Hard Knocks. We all talk about Aaron, and I think Aaron helped the culture. But here's the other thing. Aaron came to the team because of the culture that Salah and JD are building. And I think we got to give more props to the big guy, because Joe Douglas, and you see why Salah jumped in his arms and hugged him, because he built a team where Salah and Brick are putting in a system where almost anyone can plug and play, and JD is finding the players, the UDFAs, the guys who were probably flipping burgers. I don't even know the names of the guys who were back there last night. They're building a culture and a framework where they're bringing in good people who are going to fight for each other. I don't know if you listened to all those testimonials, like Lincoln Tomlinson today, talking about how much he was almost in tears. The guy's a little emotional, but it's just, you can feel that. And then I know I got 30 seconds. My last thing is Rodgers. I love him. I'm glad he's coming back. I think it's good he's throwing stuff around. I think he's crazy, and I'm worried he's going to mess up his leg, and he's going to have to just be the quarterback coach. That's my worry. I'm poking around. I've never heard of anyone coming back from this early. I hope I'm wrong, but
so the only guy I've ever seen, and I'm right there with you on the concern. Like, we saw Cam Akers come back after 4.5 months post surgery, playing the Super Bowl, 5 months. And that's a running back juking. Like the amount of force that goes into a juke for a running back versus the amount of force that's going to be placed on that front throwing leg for Aaron Rodgers is totally different. Now the age is different too. Akers is like 25 years old, or was 24 years old maybe when the injury he sustained, and Rodgers is going to be 40 in December. So like what he's doing is damn near unheard of. You've never seen anything like it. He's really pushing the boundaries of what an Achilles injury could be, and I think if there's anyone that can do it, it's him. And my fallback is kind of like, well, at the worst case scenario, this is like a 4-month time span for him. If he hurts it again, he's got the whole offseason to recover from the second one if it happens. I don't know.
I know I should be ejected, but just I've read that he can mess it up permanently. I hope he doesn't. But I hate to be
Barney, don't make me do it. I don't want to cry. Barney, you've been ejected from the cockpit. Good stuff, Barney. Good stuff. We've got Tim joining the show. Tim, how you doing tonight?
Next 30 minutes in the meantime. Chris Berman with the fastest race. Over.
Tim, can you hear me? Tim.
Yeah.
Tim.
You there?
I might be on a lag, so I'm going to eject you real quick, call back in, and I'll answer your call because I'm going to reset it on my side too. Sometimes my video thing that I'm doing is a little laggy. Probably should use some type of phone call system. Although when I used Google Voice in the past, it like wouldn't pick anyone's phone call up. It would just buzz right through. All right, let's try it again. Tim, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, my man. Really happy with a win.
Yeah.
You know, this defense is something. I'll tell you that. If there's one thing that they need to do in the offseason is they got to extend Bryce Huff. I have never seen, even with Abraham, and I'm 35 years old, I've never seen a get off that kid's got off the ball.
Stupid fast. Like elite company is where he's at. You can't let that walk out the building. Not for a third round pick 2 years from now.
The beauty of it is an undrafted free agent. That's the beauty.
Dude, slap a franchise tag on him if you have to. I would much rather let Becton test the open market than Huff test the open market.
Personally, I'd rather just sign him to a long-term deal because he's young.
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, I would love to re-sign Huff long-term, get him done for like 3 years, $60 million or something like that. I'm thinking $20 million a year is probably where he's going to end up if he starts playing 3 downs.
Yeah. And other than that, you know, like the other guy just called, I live in South Florida too. So all I hear is the fish fans. Okay. All I hear is the fish fans. We're the best thing on since sliced bread. Okay. What did Buffalo do to you guys? They stopped your run, and they chucked your wide receivers at the line. Made Tua hold the ball, and what did he do? Unraveled. Okay? Tua wants to get rid of the ball within 2 to 3 seconds. If you completely get his – and this is the one thing that drives me nuts when I watch other defenses play them. Why on earth don't you get that? You got to get hands on that speed at the line. You have
to. No free releases. You can't do that.
You cannot allow a free release with Tyreek Hill. He will burn you every time. Okay? So
I expect him to get his against the Jets, too. Like, let me make that clear. I think the Jets' defense is going to cause them all sorts of headaches, but Tyreek and Waddle, they're going to figure out some way to get in the end zone. So the Jets are going to have to score points that day, but you got to be able to hit them. The Jets sweeps that they're doing where they try to get some speed going
But the thing is, I think the Eagles are going to trounce them this week because they have no defense.
Yes.
No defense.
I think the Eagles are absolutely going to smack them around. I think they're going to be pissed off they lost to the Jets, too. It was probably a good thing for the Jets, 1, to get the win, and 2, to piss off the Eagles to hurt a division rival.
But you can run the ball down the Dolphins' throat and pass it. Look how much points they've given up this year. Okay?
It's huge.
We can go on a run here. All right, and I see Zach getting better and better and better and better. Now the red zone needs to be cleaned up big time. They need to install some sort of red zone. He needs understanding that it's timing in the end zone. You have to throw the ball into tight windows. You can't wait for the wide open guy to get open because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, there's not enough space back there for that. I would love to see the tight ends get more involved. They're such big targets. Allow Zach the opportunity to really just play basketball. Throw up a thing, let him box it out. Tim, thank you so much for the call.
Rucker or Zama.
Oh, I love it. I'm a big Rucker guy. Tim, you have been ejected from the cockpit. Boys and girls, we got about 12 minutes left. Talk to the chat a little bit. Call-in line is still open. If you'd like to call in, you can click on the pinned link in the comment in the live chat. I'm going to end our poll question. That might be why you guys can't see it. Sometimes you have to vote on the poll in order to see the pinned comment beneath it. But we got to see Quincy Williams as the leader in the who are you most impressed with through the beginning part of the season poll. Not even close. Randy comes in and says, I believe A-Rod never tore his Achilles. He's trying to play less than 65% so we get our pick back. F Green Bay. Could you imagine if that's what it ended up being? And he's like, no, we're going to make Zach be the quarterback. I have this plan. We're going to I'm going to flex my calf in such a way that I'm going to miss, 66 Or I'm gonna miss just enough snaps to not hit 65%. This is the world I want to live in. My hat right here, this pilot hat, lined with tinfoil. And I'll wear it all damn day. That's my reality. We got Ramsey joining the show. Ramsey, how you doing tonight, brother?
Good, man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty good heading into the bye week. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I wanted to ask you, specific to the bye, before I get into my things, what would you say are the biggest things and you want to see, post bye week with our team?
You gotta get conversions in the red zone. That's the biggest thing for me, is if you can start turning some of these field goals into touchdowns, then at the very least you're scoring more points that can contend with teams in the AFC. I feel like there's a lot of points being left out on the field. 1 for 9 for the last 9 trips into the red zone is not going to cut it.
Okay. And is that like the only main thing, only thing? What else you got?
That's the biggest one, I think, for me. I'd love to see Zach start throwing a little bit more, obviously keep it over 70% completion percentage. Without the 5 drops yesterday, he would have had 73% yesterday. I don't want to feel like I have to make an excuse for Zach. I want him to be the reason we win a game, even though I know we're just trying to ask him to be game manager, let the defense and the running game and your stars win the game. But at some point, I would like to see him win us a game because he had to throw the ball or because he needed to make that play. Like, that would make me feel really good. I mean, as long as we're getting W's, I don't really care how it looks, because I really think Rodgers is coming back at the end of the season.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard about that. That would be pretty wild, but I think some of the things I'm trying to see. So one, I want to see us, like you said, be a little more aggressive with Zach. I want to see Xavier Gibson on the field a little more. I know he's been a rock star with the special teams, but those drops that Randall Cobb had, they were killing me, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
how much
I'd like
more
to see a little less
him I
Cobb
wanna
out
see.
there. I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to see more Hardman, more Gibson. Less of the older guys. No Cobb, no Cook. It's play speed.
Yeah, and I want to see what our defense looks like against, I guess you could say regular talent. We've played against a bunch of playoff teams, the 2 teams in the Super Bowl, and our defense, if you look at the numbers and you don't contextualize it, you think we just we're just an above average defense. But now we're gonna we're playing the Giants. No disrespect to them, but they suck. We play some sorry teams. I'm excited to see, our defense rack up 5, 6, 7 sacks in a game, because I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some opportunities on the back half of the schedule to really show what this team can do. Because right now, I feel like there's been some impressive wins, the Bills, the Eagles, but I feel like there's still people doubting. We're winning in spite of Zach, and I get that, it's true, but I think there's a lot more there.
Yeah, and
Ramsey.
Just one more thing.
Oh yeah, go. You got it.
One more thing I just want to say. I want to see Zach get a little more comfortable with what you were saying with the timing in the red zone and just the chemistry with our guys. That's all I got.
I completely agree. If you can get the red zone figured out, this team's going to be lethal. Ramsey, you've been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Sonny and then Nathaniel. Sonny, how you doing tonight, brother?
Hey, Ryan. Thanks for taking my call, man.
Of course.
I got to say, it's they saved the season. They turned this thing around.
Dude, it's given us all hope, right? Those dreams of well, if we could just be in playoff contention and have Rodgers come back. I mean, the fact that we're talking about Rodgers possibly coming back from an Achilles in the same year is bananas to me.
Absolutely. That's mind-blowing, too. And it's he's sort of flirting with us because he's thrown the football on the field before the game, and he's on the sideline. So it's pretty amazing. I'll tell you what is mind-blowing about this whole scenario. We would have took 3-3 with Rodgers.
Oh yeah, 100%.
We would have said, "Hey, we're 3-3 after the 6 hardest games of the schedule, and then now it opens up a little bit, and let's roll together some wins."
Yeah, dude. I mean, just the fact that we're sitting at 500 through the hardest part of our schedule, it feels like there's a little light at the end of the tunnel. Now you maybe can see Zach play a little bit better. There's some of the defenses are not as strong as the ones we went up against. I'd love to see us convert more of these red zone opportunities and really start hanging some points on teams, because that falls on the quarterback. It does fall on the offensive coordinator as well, and it just feels like we can't quite figure it out. A lot of it comes down to penalties as well. We get a lot of really bad false starts or holding calls that puts us in bad downs and distances.
Absolutely. And the bye week couldn't have came at a better time.
We needed it. It was a little early for me, but now that Sauce and Reed are hurt, you kind of recoup that. Everyone's getting healthy.
Get
at the
everyone
right time.
healthy and focus on doing some stuff for the red zone. They got to get better in the red zone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%.
I wanted to ask you, Ryan.
Yeah.
You guys are doing the a tailgate thing versus the Chargers?
Oh yeah. So we're linking up with Tailgate Joe. If you buy a group buy ticket from talkingjets.com, you'll get the tailgate included in it. If you already have a ticket to the game that you're going to and you just want to join the tailgate, you can buy just the tailgate ticket from us. There's no upcharge on it. It's just the same price that Tailgate Joe charges. It's just $65, and it's food and beverage, and you'll be able to come over. We're gonna have a pop-up tent, a table, all this stuff. You'll be able to come and hang out.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get myself a ticket and meet up with you guys there.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. And now that the Jets season isn't totally crumbling, I'm feeling a lot more confident. I was telling Green Bean and Matt at the beginning, I was like, "Damn it, we should have picked an earlier game. We got screwed. It's gonna be terrible."
No, they look good, and I can't even explain how excited I am to get back to 500. And I mean, from here on out, who knows how far they can go this year.
Dude, I've got hope. That's all I can ask for at this point in the season after losing Rodgers. Sonny, you've been ejected from the cockpit. We've got Nathaniel joining the show. Nathaniel, how you doing tonight, brother? Oh, hold on. You're muted. Hit the mute button. Or it says you're muted at least. You know what? Here, I'm going to eject you, and you just call back in. I'll get you back. I'll call back in. If not, I'll go to Jeremy. I'll give Nathaniel one more shot, and then he might have to figure it out. Nathaniel, can you hear me? You still come up muted. All right, you can hear me. You figure that out. I'm going to put you back in the green room for right now. I'm going to go to Jeremy. We've got Jeremy joining the show. Jeremy, how you doing tonight?
How you doing, sir?
Dude, I'm hanging in there. I'm feeling pretty good about our Eagles win.
Man, what? Hey, I was surprised myself.
I think all of us Jet fans were. There's a few crazy people that were like, I'm confident we're going to win this one. But then I think the vast majority of fans were like, well, we're missing our star players on defense. This is going to be a rough one.
All I got to say is I'm going to stick with Zach. I be ups and downs with Zach. I be praised. I got a Zach jersey. I was finna put it on, but I can't find. I don't know what I did. Well, I guess I threw it, so I got mad on one day. But yeah,
check behind Zach, the catch. Hey, threw it, just fell behind there.
This the BYU Zach that I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Bring that confidence. Don't worry about last game or last year or the year after that and the year after that. But you know what I'm saying? Just get the feel of the game.
For sure,
he did that.
Just play within your means. Don't try to play hero ball. Just do what the defense is giving you. Get it to Brees. Get it to Garrett. Get it to your playmakers in space. These guys are why we drafted them so highly.
I know. I like that game when Garrett. I remember what game that was, but Garrett came in. He was like, hey, I don't know what he was saying. Like, give me the ball, man.
I think that was the Bills game. I'm pretty sure that was the first game. And then Zach was supposed to do a run. Or supposed to hand the ball off. He saw one-on-one with Garrett on the left-hand side and just ripped it, and Garrett made a crazy acrobatic catch. And now I feel like there's that confidence where it's like, hey, anytime we got one-on-one, we're just throwing it to Garrett. He'll beat that guy 9 times out of 10.
But this last game, like you say with the Eagles, that's like the best game right there. I say if we keep playing like that, we going to the playoffs.
Dude, the back half of the schedule and the way this team is fighting right now, it is I'm confident. I'm feeling hopeful. I shouldn't say confident. Confidence is probably a bad word right now, but I would say I'm far more optimistic than I was just a week ago or 3 weeks ago, coming off the Patriots game.
I feel that schedule was built for Aaron Rodgers because they thought he was going to be healthy.
Oh,
Because you thought because
100%.
we getting all the TV time, we getting all these prime games. So I'm freaking like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, they didn't know Aaron's gonna go out like that. You know, so
I
it
mean,
is
it was
what it
built
is.
for Aaron to begin with anyway. I mean, you think about the way it was structured, where it'd be like, okay, they're bringing in Lazard, they're bringing in Cobb, they're bringing in all these guys, and they're going to have some chemistry with Rodgers to start the season, and then they'll go on this run. He'll hit his stride, and the Jets will do this great thing towards the end of the season. And now it's just kind of working out to Zach's benefit. Well, kind of to Zach's benefit. If he could put it together and we could score some points in the red zone, it's going to be a dangerous team.
Dangerous team. It is a dangerous team. Because you know why? Because it's the JETS. Jets. Hey, it's been a minute since I got on your live. I'm glad you took my call. I like what you do. I've been following you for a long time. You keep up. I love your family. I love, you know what I'm saying, the new jet that you added to your family. Congratulations.
Dude, I
I know the
appreciate
baby. I know she probably grown now. Running that house.
She's growing up a lot quicker than I want. She's already like doubled in size. It's absolutely loony. Jeremy, thank you so much for the call. I look forward to talking to you again after a win following the bye week. Jeremy, you have been ejected from the cockpit. All right, we're going back to Nathaniel. Nathaniel, how you doing, brother? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I think you can hear me. It had you like you're ready to go, and then it just said guest has muted themselves again. I'm probably not doing like the best setup that I could probably be doing. That's all right. You figure it out. I'm going to leave you there. Once you start going, you're still like technically on the call. We're talking to one another, but I'm going to look at the chat for right now. Give you a few minutes to kind of figure that out. Let's see. Savage says, if it wasn't for the refs, we'd be 5-1 at best and 4-2 at worst. Shake my head. Let's do our thing and collect rings. Let's go Jets. I mean, I would love to collect a second ring. We're not very good at collecting rings yet. Hopefully that changes. Oh, there we go. Nathaniel, I got you loud and clear.
Yeah, here we go.
Yahtzee.
Sweetness.
How you doing, brother?
Oh, dude, I am doing freaking fantastic. So this is the crazy thing. You want to hear this? So my dad, he's a diehard Browns fan, right? So when the Browns beat the 49ers, I was like, dude, I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling we're going to beat the Eagles today. And he's like, yeah, hell's going to freeze over before that ever happens. Well, I guess hell just froze over because we beat the Eagles. So
we got it done. And we did it in better fashion than the 49ers, than the Browns against the 49ers. I mean, they had to miss that field goal with time expiring. At least if Elliott hit the field goal, there's still like, stuff going on. It wasn't a game winner for Philly.
I remember, like, we were watching that game, and I guess there was a couple of areas that was missed out on that last half of that game. I feel really bad for those people because they did miss one hell of a game, man.
Dude, they switched. They did switch from the 49er game to the Jet game, but then they went split screen. They had so I don't know if you saw my every throw video, but it had the 49ers Browns game on, and the Jets were live, but they were in like a smaller box at the same time. So I didn't get screwed. I got to see that game. That was impressive.
No, that was my dad was on Facebook, and he was just like, dude, I guess a whole bunch of people like missed like the last half of the Browns game. I'm like,
that's brutal.
That just sucks. Like,
I hate when they do that. I'd much rather miss the beginning part of any game. Like even I don't want to have to miss a Jet game, but if I had to miss the very beginning of one because there was such a great game on, I feel like you should just do it and then catch us up when we get back.
Right. I mean, that's what highlights are for. So if you do miss something, like if I had like to work, I could just freaking come home and watch highlights, and I'm like, yep, all right, I'm all set. All right, know what I want to know.
You can watch your every throw video from your favorite Jet YouTuber.
Oh, hell yeah, there you go. Also, dude, all right, so I got this for Christmas. How long ago?
Lavernius Coles?
No, it's a Decker.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, Decker.
I love it. Decker was one of my favorite receivers for us. I wish we had him a little bit longer.
Yeah, I agree. Like, he was one of my favorites. It was him, and when we had
Brandon Marshall. I was a big Braylon Edwards guy too.
I don't know why. I just wasn't a fan. I like Moss.
Dude, so Braylon Edwards was the first draft I remember like really being into. Braylon Edwards was one of the early draft picks in that draft. So I was always like kind of like dialed into him. And then when I was like, oh man, I really hope we trade for him. And then I see the Jets, holy shit, we traded for Braylon Edwards. And then him doing the Dougie over top of the Patriots. Like I was all about it. I was over the moon. Over the moon.
Dude.
But it feels good. It feels like we finally drafted a wide receiver who's going to be a stud in the league for a long time.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Wilson's going to be a top
agree.
10 receiver in this league.
Oh, I agree with that. But before I go, dude, shout out to your whole freaking channel. You're freaking kicking ass here. Dude, keep up the fucking great ass work, man.
Dude, I appreciate it. And it's viewers like you that make the whole thing go. It's very much appreciated that you could be spending time doing anything. And the fact that you're spending some of your valuable time wasting it hanging out with us means a lot.
I mean,
it really
this is hands down better than watching the freaking Cowboys game. That's for damn sure.
It makes me feel good. Nathaniel, you have been ejected from the cockpit. Oh, man. Jesus. Got my ticket for the group buy. Can't wait to see the game with you guys. See you at Jet Life. Jesus, I cannot wait for week 9. Jets, Chargers, myself, O'Leary, Green Bean. We got Jesus. We got Crossfire. You got J-Boy. You got Blitz Crew. I'm sure there's a few more in there that I just don't. I see the names, I'm sure, but they're different names than what their actual names are based on what they're buying. I'm excited. We're going to have a whole crew roll out, and that game is going to be so much more exciting than I think a lot of us were feeling just heading into this not too long ago with obviously the injury to Mr. Aaron Rodgers. So I'm looking forward to this. Looking forward to seeing you guys. If you guys want to get a ticket to the Jet Charger group buy, all you have to do is go to talkingjets.com and pick yourself up a ticket. But that's going to be it for me, boys and girls. I'm tired. I was painting my garage, finished my garage project, with the exception of the floor. I got to do the floor. But that might be a spring task at this point. I don't want to put down some flooring, not flooring, but paint the floor and then have it not gel the right way or seal or whatever. Everything's a work in progress when you own a house. But I'm feeling confident, feeling comfortable heading into the bye. I'm just going to kick back, watch football next week, and be able to not be stressed. I'm going to watch that Miami game. I'm going to watch them get throttled by Philadelphia. That's what I want to see. That would make me happier on this bye week. Boys and girls, if you're just tuning in, hit that like button. If you've been here the whole time or you're just popping out, hit that like button. Very much appreciated. Helps the channel grow a little bit more. And again, thank you guys so much for wasting your time with me, because I know your time is valuable. Means a lot to me, means a lot to the channel. Boys and girls, I will see you over on the Talkin' Jets panel tomorrow, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Myself, O'Leary, and Green Bean. Looking forward to hearing what those guys have to say. This is Jets Talk, signing off. Jets.